Be the right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about him?
That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show presented by our friends at High Noon. Solly is here out on the 17th green on the hill is our guy TC. Hello, TC.
Hello, I'm here in the workshop, right next to 17. Chain smokers are about to go on.
We got to get your mic boosted. We got to get your audio boosted today. People are all over you on the projection last night.
Not my fault. I was projecting like crazy.
We're doing it live. That is the thing here. DJ Pie is here. Good afternoon. Good evening, Mr. Pie Man. Welcome back.
Hey, good to be back, guys. Thanks for having me on your program. As always, excited to talk about the Players' Championship.
It is a thrilling leaderboard, and we are thrilled, of course, to talk to you about our friends at High Noon. I hope you guys have had a chance to sample it. DJ, have you gotten here yet? Have you sampled the High Noon tequila seltzer yet?
I have not gotten the tequila yet. I'm still making my way through the vodka sodas, but I'm sure it's on the horizon. There's snow on the ground. It's not quite party boy season up here in Milwaukee quite yet. We're still in the winter of our discontent up here. So I'm making my way through the vodka still.
Well, that's part of the beauty of High Noon Sun Sips. You can pretend like you're sitting in the sun. Our favorite seltzer now has an option for you tequila lovers out there. They got 4 bright, crisp flavors. It is strawberry, lime, grapefruit, and passion fruit. They're only 100 calories. They're gluten-free, no added sugar. They don't give you the headache between the eyes that TC always complains about when it comes to the malt seltzers. They hit the shelves on March 1st. They're rolling out countrywide over the next 2 months. Fully available by May 1st, just in time for summer. I think summer starts around July 1st where you're at, DJ. But you can look for High Noon at Drizzly and at your local convenience or liquor store, or visit highnoonspirits.com to find it near you. I want to give us some feedback on the tequila seltzers, the listeners out there. I know you guys are out there getting involved with that. So thanks to High Noon. And I'm excited about these, if you can't tell.
I am too. I apologize in advance. I have a headache between the eyes due to allergies this evening.
Between the eyes or behind the eyes?
Everywhere. I got a headache everywhere. I feel
hate
like
that,
somebody
man.
hammered my head or drilled into my head.
I love, despite playing hurt, going with some really high quality bits today. TC, that hat really caught me and kind of sent me off my rocker tonight. So thank you for that. I also love the headphones too. Kind of a Steve Bartman look you got going on.
A listener sent it to me out of the blue. It's a little concerning. I have no idea how said listener got my address. I have no idea who it was or what, but someone sent it to me. It showed up in the mail this week in a little box. I opened it up. I had no idea what it was. Sure enough, it was this massive yellow DeWalt hat.
I believe that concludes the both the paid for ads and the free ads that we'll have on this podcast. So, if you will, we really need to get to Christian Bezaden Houghton and Adam Svensson here, guys. If we can
I
move
trust
along
that the listeners know when a brand's being made fun of, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here, TC. If I was to read between the lines.
Yes, I'm a Ryobi guy. All right.
God damn it. Pie Man, I know you're just getting back into it, getting caught up here with with the championship here, but what's your reaction to what we've seen so far?
Man, a lot of ways I could go with this. Number one, I think the Players kind of is who we thought it was, right? I know it's trendy to kind of be like, man, this leaderboard stinks. This is so bad. What's going on? Where are all the stars? I think I would just hazard or caution, a reminder to everybody that this kind of tends to happen every year. I feel like every year, Monday through Wednesday at the Players is unbelievable. The golf course is in great shape. The course is so fun. 16, 17, 18. We love it. Great history. Oh my God, I can't wait for all of this. And then it's always like, let's welcome into the interview room our opening round leader, Roberto Castro. All right, let's talk to him. Okay, let's talk to Jeff Maggart for a while. He's making an unprecedented run. And I feel like you kind of got to talk yourself into, it's interesting watching these guys hold on. I could get into this storyline. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Chad Ramey. Yeah. What a story. That's great. And,
great story. You can't tell it enough times, right?
Exactly. I was excited to hear TC give that the run it deserves on the pod last night. Excited to see Damon Hack get him in the interview room today. That was cool. But I think where I'm kind of coming around to on all of this stuff is that I really took my hands off the steering wheel on like we need a great storyline this week. If it's not a star, everything is a huge waste. And I've really just kind of been enjoying watching the golf course, right? I think like this is one of those tournaments. I think Augusta's in this category. I think the Open Championship's in this category where it's like, you know what? The golf course is the star more than any of the players. And I fucking love watching people play this golf course. It truly doesn't matter who they are. And ideally on Sunday afternoon, there's some names that people recognize. And, you know, I think we will get there and eventually the cream will rise. But I legitimately had a good time watching Chad Ramey try to hold it together on 16, 17, 18. The obvious fireworks that we can get to, but like I can't think of a course on the PGA Tour that's more fun to watch guys hit it out of position. And especially as the wind was ramping up, as the firmness was ramping up today, it was just like you just get closer and closer to TV when you watch somebody get a wicked bounce or something. And you're like, oh, this guy's fucked. I cannot wait to watch how this goes. And it's sometimes they pull it off, and that makes it even more fun to watch. So, not the leaderboard we're looking for, but I've had a great time watching.
They set up that Chad Ramey bit really, really good.
Great.
I mean, Zinger was born for that. Anytime he can go to pressure and nerves on a Friday afternoon on the very quiet part of the golf course, he was setting that up really well. And it is like, dude, I don't care how early in the tournament it is. I want to see dudes with a huge ass lead get to 17 because you got to pass that test. You got to hit the green. You got to do it. He pulls 9-iron on there, and it was kind of like they were kind of setting it up that the wind was a little stronger up there and helping a little more than people had realized. And sure enough, he steps up, hits a low, kind of tries to take a little bit off a 9-iron, doesn't spin as much, doesn't get up in the air, hits the green firm, trickles over the back of the green, water ball, does it again with the next ball out of the drop area. And it was just like, you never go full Sean O'Hare. And he decided to do this on a Friday rather than a Sunday. I know all the shots count the same, but it seems to be a better time to do it than on a Sunday. But that was TPC Sawgrass bit back a little bit today.
Would you, all right, question for you guys. Would you go to the drop zone or would you?
Not today, I don't think.
Right?
Not to that pin. Yeah.
That pin with that wind kind of a little down off the left is so fucking hard. And that was like biggest, boldest note today was like, I can't imagine playing 17 when it's that firm, like under that kind of pressure with that wind. Because if you think about it, everybody's trying to hit like a soft cut in there that just lands on that ridge and dies. Nobody wants to have to hit anything that's going to draw because it's just going to hit and bounce even harder. And when you've got that wind off the left, it's like, it's also, giving you a super hot bounce with the cut. And it's just absolutely brutal. And I cannot imagine, like, honestly, Ramey's first shot that he hit from the drop zone was pretty decent, but it was kind of that perfect example of just like, oh dude, this is like basically downwind. A little wedge like that's going to bleed a little bit left to right anyways. Like you have no chance unless you hit just a perfect shot. And then the perfect shot is kind of landing into that upslope and giving yourself like a 30-footer, which a couple guys hit as well. But man, I think it was I think Gary Woodland hit an amazing shot up in there, but there was just so few shots like up to that top shelf that land up on top, somehow catch the wind right, spin right, all of those things. And it's just really marvelous when somebody does it. And it's also really marvelous when somebody does it because it's just, so do or die. Solly, you brought it up, Brandel last year talking about how unfair of a golf hole this is, how this is, it's just Mickey Mouse stuff. I think number one, respect to any take like that. Keep shooting, say what you think. I love that stuff. But
Nothing
two,
matters.
Please miss me with 17 is not fair because it's just, again, as I've pointed out every year at this tournament, like look around, man. This is not, we're not playing in like St. Andrews here. Like this is, it's a manufactured circus. And so we need to just lean in on that. It's great, man. It gets better every year.
What do you? We kind of struggled last night to come up with an explanation for why the leaderboard does look like this. Can you help us with that at all?
I don't know if I've been thinking about it all day and trying to like think of a smart way to say this. And so I'll preface it with no, like I'm grasping at straws, trying to come up with something because it's the ultimate place where, you write down all your notes before the week and it's like, okay, a guy needs to do this. A guy needs to do this. It favors this player. It favors this player. All the models are saying this is what's going to happen. And then someone like fucking Taylor Pendrith goes out and hits every fairway in round one. And it's like, oh, all right, I don't know what's going on then. But I guess the best I could say it is I think Spieth was really, really good in his post-round presser today, talking about Sawgrass and what it forces you to do and how it messes with your mind. And he was saying it in a good way that, like, I think the very disciplined players and the players that have played here a bunch and have been in contention here a bunch understand that you realistically only have a couple scoring opportunities. So it kind of messes with your head a little bit when you are coming out and you're like, all right, I know I got to hit a good drive and maybe I can get it on 1. Maybe I can get it on 2. 3, I'm kind of holding on for dear life. 4, 5, I'm kind of holding on for dear life. 6, I don't know, maybe, but then 7 and 8, I have no chance. And 9 is okay, I kind of have a chance. And when you miss any of those, you just get a little tighter and a little tighter, and you just, it puts more and more pressure on, 11, 12, 16,
Even 10.
and that's, and
It's
10
just
maybe. And like, those are kind of it. Like, those are kind of your only chances. Right. And so I guess what I'm getting at with all this is, like, I think there's enough players in the field and everybody's so freaking good that every year, like, somebody's going to play pretty close to perfect golf. Right. And it's going to work out for, Chad Ramey's and Bezaden Holtz and all of these guys who are obviously like world-class players, and over 36 holes, they can play pretty close to perfect golf. Whereas I think a lot of the stars are probably have played it so many times and have gotten their face kicked in so many times that they're trying to almost like chart their way around and trying to play conservative. And it's almost like two contrasting styles of play, right? Where you have some guys that are just absolutely playing the round of their life and some guys that are just playing a little bit disciplined. And you kind of have like this mishmash brackish of a leaderboard of like a bunch of different styles is the best I can think. And then I think eventually on Sunday, like, some of those guys stick around. Some of those guys have the Chad Ramey 17th hole blow up and they get eviscerated, and the stars tend to like slowly creep more and more and more up to the top. And so when you look at it like that, you're like, that's kind of sweet, actually. Right.
It's the kind of golf course where when the getting's good, you can go, you can run. It is not that difficult. Like, when you're executing the shots, it's got just enough bite to it right now, though, where like what we saw, the replay from 2019 was on after the rain delay started, and the course just did not have the same amount of bite at that point. And Furyk is out there shooting 67 and coming down the stretch, finishes at 15 under. I forget what Rory finished at to win it, but that's just not the tournament that's taking place right now. And there's just enough doubt in all of the shots. Like, Morikawa hit a seed into 8. I don't know what club he hit into 8, the par 3, and it just hits on the green and lands hard and goes all the way into the back of the bunker. And it's just like, dude, he probably executed that shot perfectly, and I don't know what he was exactly supposed to do with that. Spieth had some comments in there that were lingering on. He was getting kind of teetering on the edge, close to complaining about good shots not getting rewarded. And I'm not going to go. I'll go down any path you want to, Jordan Spieth, but I'm not going to go down that path with you right now.
I mean, Spieth made it was cleanup on aisle 2 out of that greenside spot that he was in. I was out there with my 6-year-old son, Freddie. And Freddie said, Dada, this guy's not very good.
He said, of course, Freddie. Like, that's nobody.
Literally, Freddie, you could join the pod because that's what we talk about almost every week. Like,
he stinks, but also he might be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much further evidence you need other than just like Lucas Herbert is a top 50 player in the world. And what did he shoot? Like 80, 86 or 80, 85, something like that.
That's not the draw, though.
Yeah, totally. But it's like, it's out there, man. If you 82, 85. Yeah, 82, 85.
How about Max McGreevy?
Will you apologize?
89.
Will you apologize for Max McGreevy?
Oh, now everybody knows who he is. Mission accomplished.
You tried to get me to apologize for him last night, and he birdied the last hole to shoot 89 today. Only thing I can say about that, I bet that made lunch taste a little bit better. That's the only thing I can add on that.
Those are the ones that keep you coming back, man. But no,
Props to him.
It's like that kind of spot where I feel like a lot of the golf courses, majors, are very much like, can you be patient? Can you just hang around? Can you avoid disasters and pick your spots and get a couple birdies, right? A lot of the other run of the mill PJ Tour events turn into kind of like everybody's going to hit it in about the same spot. And can you make putts and, can it be your week? And this is just this weird mishmash of those two things. And where I think when you don't have it going and when you get behind the 8 ball a little bit and you start pressing at all is when you go 82, 85. And it's when you start missing in the wrong spots and you start turning 4s into 6s and 6s into 8s in Herbert's case, or even 6s into 9s. I believe you had an 8 and a 9 today.
Herbert's made every number from 2 through 9 in 2 rounds.
That's a great stat.
But it's also like, if you're Chad Ramey, the dude is like, it's a golf course where the punishment doesn't always fit the crime, in terms of like, I bet he's sitting there saying, I'm playing fucking incredible right now. I hit a good shot into 9, got the wind wrong a little bit, but all of a sudden I'm making quad because my ball landed 2 feet away from where I needed it to land. Like, there's certain, if you go out and shoot 89 at or 85 at TPC Craig Ranch, like, you've done some bad shit. Whereas Sawgrass, you could honestly kind of execute a fair amount of shots and end up with a score that feels completely unjustified.
Totally agree. And it's also the kind of place which I'm curious what you guys think about this, or why you think this is the case. But like, Spieth was asked also, you know, what is it about this place that really is kind of almost like it ignores current form, right? Like, guys can come in playing awesome and they can miss the cut by a mile, like Rory, or they can come in, you know, playing horrible and they can all of a sudden find it, you know, like I think you guys were talking about a couple of the guys last night. And I don't know what that is, but Spieth kind of took that question as like, yeah, you know, like, does that sound like a great golf course to you? And I'm like, I guess I hadn't thought about it that way, but like, as a fan, like, yeah, it does. But I'm curious if you guys had any thoughts on why that is.
Just it's agnostic, right? I think we're still going back to sample sizes. I think we're still in a pretty new spot here where the course seems to be playing a little bit differently this year versus previous years. And like, this is almost probably first or second sample size.
What do you mean by that? Firmer and,
well, just like, this is what, the 4th year?
Oh, back in March.
Yeah. And it seems like they've finally gotten the recipe for the agronomy. Greens are firmer. They seem like there's, you know, they were a little bit nicked up today, I think, but very keen to see how much it rains tonight and how much that affects the weekend. But it should be sunny, you know, sunny all day tomorrow, all day Sunday, but still a small sample size of like, I don't think we know what this tournament is right now in March yet. You know, it was soft and soggy in 2020. And then from there, it's like, all right, like, it is what it is right now. And it's a different thing every year and every round, even, you know, like I think it's going to be 2 radically different tournaments, Thursday and Friday and Saturday, Sunday this week.
I think that's well said.
One thing I can say about this tournament in March, guys, we got to come down from 144. We got to come down for 144 players. I mean, this isn't even a bit about designated events or any of that. It is.
I was going to say, I've been checked out the last week or so. Have you guys talked at all about field sizes and stuff like that? As a listener,
what are your thoughts? Let's spend the next hour on that, please.
As a listener, I'd love to hear about that stuff. Was that P's house, Tron, that you got in the background?
Oh yeah. I'm just over at P's house doing some. He's got a leak going on.
Hammered up some drywall over there.
Yes, totally agree. Solly, this is
pace of play is an issue. Like, this is a serious issue out there.
Really, really bad. Really, really bad. What's the perfect number for the players? 120?
Max. Absolute max 120. I mean, it probably doesn't even need to be that many.
Yeah. I think
there were some takes flying out there of like, see, Chad Ramey is exactly why you cannot limit the fields of these big events. And
it's also exactly why these events are 72 holes and not 36 holes or 54 holes.
I was going to say go a different route and say Chad Ramey at the top of the leaderboard is exactly why you do need to limit the field sizes on this one, because this is not what people have ordered. I know people love the underdog story. You had a great take. We don't need to do the whole field size thing, but I want you to your take about the underdog being relevant. I wanted you to get that out into the airwaves.
Oh, I think, yeah, I'm sure I've said this before, but it's like the underdog is very relative to where you draw the line, right? And for super hardcore golf fans, they're going to understand that there's a slight difference between Kurt Kitayama and Chad Ramey, right? But to the casual fans, I feel like that those two players probably are about the same, right? Like, there's the tip top PGA Tour players, and then there's everybody else. And where you draw the line is kind of what determines your underdogs, right? So of course, you know, I know I wasn't on last week, but like, Kurt Kitayama would have been in Bay Hill under the new system anyways. And that's a great underdog. Is Kurt Kitayama an actual underdog? not really to me, because he's like a top 50 player in the world, but like I think he comes across that way anyways. But the point of all of this is like the underdog is going to be there no matter where you draw the line. So if you draw the line at 125, then there you go. Chad Ramey's your underdog. And if you draw the line at 50, there you go. Kurt Kitayama's your underdog. And I think it probably evokes a lot of the same feeling either way. It's just a matter of, whether people want to admit that or not.
TC, you want a couple minutes to go down the leaderboard, but say something about the people that you mentioned?
Let's do a little game. Let's do a little game here.
Hell
Going
yeah.
down the leaderboard.
Gamifying it.
And I'm now back in my own workshop here. First of all, Cantlay putted in the water today.
I hate that.
Which was sick.
Needs a new level, TC.
needs to he's measuring too much. He's not paying attention to the level. I want you guys to tell me if this guy's sticking around after round 3 or not.
I love this.
Sticking around, like making the cut. Oh, okay.
No,
We're starting at the top.
sticking around like in the top 10, top 15. Okay?
Kind of a contender pretender situation.
Yes.
I love that we talk how much about how hard this tournament is to handicap, and we're just signing ourselves up for more handicapping.
It's the best.
Bez Fest.
Sure.
Bez is I mean, he's not tier A, but he's a big name player. He's a big dick player. He's in a lot of big events. I think he hangs around. I don't know that he wins, but I think he hangs.
Potential like storyline with Bez, if he makes an impact on this, is he was quite close, as I understand it, to going to live. And there was I believe that the asking price was not quite there, or his asking price was too high or not met. And he just turned right back around and said, all right, I'll come back to the PGA Tour. I don't think he's especially necessarily loyal to the PGA Tour, but it was a close call, I guess, of him going to live very recently, and he turns around and wins the Players. I don't know if a lot of the people inside Ponte Vedra are going to be like overwhelmingly thrilled if that's the case, but that's an interesting little storyline to follow, that he eschewed the measly offer that gave him recently.
What a dystopian world when you're not hitting Bez's number.
He was going to go to Stinger, GC probably.
Of course. Work hard, team, work hard, play hard.
I feel like Lucas Herbert was going to go to live too.
I thought he was already on live until I saw him shoot 82-85 today.
You could have
honestly could have played
T12 at live.
You could have played a little bit of a live or not game with some of the people on this leaderboard, which I gotta say, I was pulling some photos earlier. I mentioned this to you guys. Man, it is a bit of a frog in the boiling water. It's easy to forget just how many players have gone, man. Like going back through all the old photos from the players and looking for certain things and whatever. But like, God, every fucking photo is just Cam, DJ, Phil, Sergio, Stenson. I mean, granted, these photos are from a while ago, and I think that kind of illustrates a little bit of the point. But just can't be said enough. So I think you said that on the preview pod too. It's the first year that this tournament really has not been the best field in golf, which I think is a really important and interesting point.
Dude, it feels like it out there. Like it really does. I mean, it may not as much on television as it is like, do you walk around and it was extremely concentrated around the 3 big pairings on the back, I guess the afternoon today. And I was impressed with how loud it was on 4. I mean, it felt like a Sunday crowd on the kind of watching Ricky and Adam Scott and those groups come through. And that was the really close calls on those putts was like, oh man, there's a little buzz going out here. But then you flip over to another hole and like, yeah, you see it on TV when they flip over to Bez and Ramey and Svensson's shots. It's like, oh man, you definitely do feel it when you're out there to say, man, that really like this is a pinnacle golf event. And right, this is what we're dealing with right here. Okay. That's interesting.
Look, first of all, I am on Angie's list. You can look me up. Secondly, let's get this thing back on track.
Yeah, sorry.
Going down the leaderboard has turned into Live Bitch Fest, which
sure.
I think actually I was talking to one of the law enforcement officials with one of the groups. He was saying that
very cool of you.
Sharia law.
I backed the blue along with all my subs, and Cam, I guess, was in the clubhouse yesterday, allegedly, and this is straight from a law enforcement official, and he was asked to leave the property. So,
really,
Cam Young. Which Cam are we talking about here, TC?
Cameron Tringale. No,
Cameron Beckman.
Cameron Homa.
Yeah. Yeah, he was throwing his food everywhere.
That's wild. I think we're gonna need a second source on that. I've been out there with some of nobody backs the blue like me, but I've been out there with some of the police officers, not always super informed as far as who's who. So I would love a second source on that, but that's wild. If so,
Yeah.
that's extremely
Anyway.
brazen.
Do you want to tell the tracker counts to pick that up, or do you want to disclaim that they cannot be thrown up? Because
I'll throw some droppings out there for him. Anyway, Adam Svensson. I'll raise my hand and say he is around. Adam Svensson's a big dick player.
TC, you know what? I had such a maybe this was again just not being overly, gorging myself on players' content all week, but I was what a golf swing. Holy cow. Every time he came on the screen, I'm just like, man, who's that again? What a swing. I love watching that. I think he sticks around too. Again, I don't think he wins, but top 15.
Okay. Solly?
I'm going to say no for absolutely no
You're
reason.
like a Svensson homer.
All you do is bet on Svensson.
I know, but I'm wrong every time on him, right? So I wouldn't mind him sticking around, but I'm wrong every time on Svensson.
I got this massive make golf your thing ad.
It's horrible.
It matches up perfectly with our high noon graphics
It
too.
does.
Ben Griffin. We cannot say enough good things about this guy's story. You
I just
can't
don't know
talk
his
about it enough.
story was the thing.
He's out there doing it. That's the most important thing.
I'm gonna say no on Ben Griffin. Just not really like hitting it all that good from as far as the numbers would say. Not really driving it all that good. I don't really know how he scored all that well. So I'm gonna say no on Ben Griffin.
I'll join you on that one. I'm going to say no on Ben Griffin.
I'm gonna say yes on Ben Griffin.
Hell yeah.
Just because of the story, right?
You know what? He's part of the H&B stable, like me. I like Ben Griffin. I think he's almost so much fish out of water here that it's gonna stick a little bit.
Are you worried about him over mortgaging his position, TC?
No, I'm good.
Do you think he can explain what PMI is to Ricky Fowler?
Well, he's partnering with Cap Tech. It's on his shirt and on his hat, I think.
Sure.
Minwoo Lee.
What an aesthetic, man.
He looks like a true villain out
Did
there.
he have a rashy?
He had like the Tiger 2006 mock turtleneck rashy
Curtis
from the
Luck.
Curtis Luck collection with the little mustache. It's so sick. I hope he
Looks
sticks
like
around.
a Bond villain.
Yes, I cannot get enough of Min Woo Lee on my TV. Again, big dick player. I think he hangs.
I'll say yes to Min Woo Lee. I think he's going to be around.
The models are saying so. It's going to be interesting. The models are saying that it's gonna be very benign this weekend, right? Very very sunny.
Little bit of breeze tomorrow. A little bit of breeze, I think, around 10 miles an hour, which just like it. If that doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, it plays heavy at the beaches. It really, really, really does. I mean, 10, 11 was like what was projected today with some gusts in the 20s, but like
it's that Florida air.
That was some serious wind, and if it gets cold, it becomes Florida cold, which we don't have to talk about that. Everybody knows
It's
that.
so hard out there.
I was thinking about that while I was shoveling snow today. It's like, God, all we can do is just be thankful it's not Florida cold out here.
Can I interrupt your manipulation of going down the leaderboard segment here and somehow
We're doing a game?
I know we are, but I'm going to interrupt it here to tell you that the FootJoy is bringing this segment. They're the number one shoe at the Players Championship. More than half of the players in the field are wearing FootJoy shoes. TC is about to list all 86.
That would take me way too long to list all the players
as we go, and including the all-new Hyperflex. That is a dominant performance. It's nothing new. FootJoy has been the number one shoe on the PGA Tour every year since guess when?
1908.
1945 doesn't sound nearly as cool as if you're going to guess 1908, but 78 consecutive years for thousands of tournaments and millions of miles. The world's best players have walked with FootJoy. Above all others, these players understand that shoes are a critical piece of equipment. That's why more than half the field at every tournament trust the best. They know golf shoes better than anyone. That's why they've been around for 100 years. They've been the number one shoe on tour every year since 1945. That's why they are the official golf shoe of no laying up. So elevate your game this season with the number one shoe in golf. Find the FootJoy that's best for you at footjoy.com. Some sick collabs they've done recently as well with the Buscemi's that we got sent. Thank you for those guys. I cannot wait.
Everybody, all those guys are wearing them out there this week. They're so clean. The green trim on them, all that. They actually walked me down their entire product line for the year, all their collabs for the LACC event, the Masters, PGA Championship, the tartan they've got for Hoylake, all of it, fire.
Hmm.
Fire. They walked me down the whole their entire leaderboard.
Colin Morikawa, TC. Well, where does he stand in this game?
Dome golfer. It's gonna be domey this weekend. No, I mean, I think in all honesty, I think he's the favorite, right? Like Scotty, I think is like 2.5 to 1 right now. I think Colin's got to be. I'm betting on Colin over Scotty. Like he's not making any putts. It seems like, and he's still where he is.
Is that rare though? That's kind of his thing.
Well, he has to
his
make
thing.
putts to win, though. Like, yeah. Missing putts is his thing. But no, when he like legit, Porter tweeted out, he's like won almost every event he's played if he gains over a stroke per round on the greens in an event. Like he's that good. I followed him for a few holes today. He's hitting it that good. It is just like
7 shots approaching the green.
And he's only played like 29 holes or something like that. He's not even finished 2 rounds yet. And he is slightly below, but his putts looked good today. They were hitting edges. He hit an edge on 3. He had kind of a pretty bad run on 11, his last kind of look at the day. But just kind of those mid-range putts, they were not – the speed was there. It was just slightly off on the read, and it's not like he's not close. Like you can tell when Spieth is missing putts really bad that it's not close. Morikawa feels at least semi-close on the putting. And, man, it looks freaking automatic. But was interesting to walk around a lot, see a lot of different shots, see a lot of different style of players, and then go like watch Morikawa hit 3 woods and hit irons, mid irons, long irons, and just see like what premium ball striking looks like. It can look super automatic on TV, like when you're just cutting from player to player, but then you go see it in person, it's just like, dude, holy shit. That's just a level of precision that doesn't quite pop on TV.
He got a couple people in the comments saying he's going to be unbeatable in TGL.
It's true.
That's very interesting.
That's a great point.
The truest TrackMan golfer.
What I was thinking about it, saw KVV's thing about the artist versus the mechanic and him kind of committing to hitting only the cuts. What holes do you really have to hit a draw out there? I really can't think of that many.
2
off the tee.
Kind of 10. Are you talking about iron wise?
I guess more a second shot.
Depends on what the pin is.
There's just not that many, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think of I know there's not that many like drawers left in the game, but like I can't think of any just like I only exclusively play a draw guys that have really done great here. And even Phil, like
Chris Kirk.
Phil won it once. He's bathing his young son.
13. I mean, yeah, it does, depending on where the pin is, promotes a draw. But we watch Max get up there to the back left pin and just like, I'll start over the water and hit a fade. Like I don't care. And
even that, like a par 3, it's like, do you just hit a cut to the middle of the green and you take 4 threes there for the week.
Yeah, standing on 8T this week has been kind of a litmus test. Like
God, that hole sucks. It's so hard.
Oh, it does suck, but it's a great hole to watch, especially if the wind is howling. Because Pin was kind of back middle today, and like I mean, Cody and I were standing back there. Tom Kim, like his shot wasn't landing outside of like a 5-foot circle, whereas other guys are just absolutely coming over it, or it's a definite differentiator between the little boys and the big boys.
I think I would take 4 shots like in that little short approach to 8 green. Like I think I'd just take my ball there every day. Would be fine.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Scotty Scheffler birdies his last 2 holes to get to 5 under par, and the bobber is the gravity's working the opposite way with Scheffler. Just feels like the more holes this golf tournament goes, the more he's going to be rising. I feel better about Scheffler than I do Morikawa in terms of getting the ball into the hole in the right amount of shots. Like I think tee to green, Morikawa might still smoke him, but dude, Scheffler just has a way to score that I can't really fully explain.
Scheffler had a weird ruling on 3. We were standing there and he got a drop from something right by that bunker. Like he was like above the bunker on the lip, and then dropped it, and then had the rules official come over after the drop and all that. And man, he just plays slow as fuck too. Like I'm starting to tire of Teddy and Scotty a little bit.
I wouldn't mind seeing a pitch clock out there.
Yeah.
I would say
it's like that's the thing. It's a reaction sport, and part of the deal at Sawgrass is like no, like you got to hit the shot before the wind dies down. You can't wait 2.5 minutes for it to die down.
And the counter, I guess, is it's not like they're doing anything wrong, really. Like if no one's going to enforce it, like I get
But
why they're
again,
doing it, but it sucks
again,
to watch.
arms waving on this, like enforce the rule is if you're not, you can't get penalized, you can't get fined if your group's not out of position. Like
Right.
if
Yeah, but
there's
he's also
nowhere to
playing
go,
a twosome today.
So
you
either
can, yeah,
either
you can do whatever you want,
either enforce it or cut the field down.
or change the rule. If you want to change the rule that you can't, take your time, but like some of like being a part of tournament golf, especially in threesomes, is like not outrunning yourself. Like you don't want to just go finish the hole quickly and go sit on the next tee. Like it might make a little sense to go take another lap around the hole and get in a comfortable rhythm pace so you're not just sitting around getting frustrated and waiting. Again, it just goes back to, is the best thing for golf to have the maximum amount of people possible, to have guys warming up under the lights and not be able to come 3 holes short of finishing their rounds last night with 0 delays and counting on at minimal delays to be able to get your tournament in by Sunday. I think there's probably a different way around it. Gary Young, well, we'll get to that. Sorry. It drives a lot of the conversation around how these first 2 days have gone, though. I really do think
it was super interesting to watch guys hit driver on 7 or on 6 today. Like that's not normally ever a driver hole, and everybody was pulling driver down there, which was crazy.
I think the other thing to just remind people of on Scotty and Morikawa is like this is technically a round 2 leaderboard, but round 2 is not over, and they still have like the main scoring holes coming up. So I
in much easier conditions
tomorrow morning. So I would imagine they're going to be quite a bit closer to Bez.
It's a would you rather fight what is it, the duck sized horse or a bunch of duck sized horses or one duck sized horse or whatever the phrase is.
It's got to be your bull though.
It's gonna be your bull.
They're
hell of a look at Scotty Scheffler.
They're fighting the entire Corn Ferry Tour there at the top of the leaderboard. But I think I don't know. It's a weird, like we said, it's a weird place that these guys can stick around for 4 rounds on this golf course.
I think there's also a distinct advantage to being able to sleep in tomorrow, right?
Could be.
Yeah, guys that finished early today, they can go work out. They can, go out to dinner. They can do both. They can work out again in the morning. They can hang out on the beach tomorrow morning and then go over the course at, 11 a.m. and just kind of have a normal day versus the other guys are going to be boom, 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 boom here. So Taylor Penn.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, TC. I'm going to say no. I'm saying good. No. I'm good.
I think he's going to implode. we got a couple of kind of bomb and gougey guys, Pendrith and Will Gordon.
Yeah.
Really good 5 under par round from Will Gordon today, though. I mean, that was
Gordon's been playing some golf.
Driven by putting, but he also was #1 in strokes gained approach today. So #1 in putting and approach is usually a pretty good combination on the PGA Tour.
So Will Gordon, buying or selling?
I'm going to sell. Got to make some room for some horses to get in there. So I'm gonna give his spot up.
I'm gonna buy if he's hitting it that good. I'm gonna buy.
Jason Day.
I'm buying. One here, playing great.
Just keeps doing it, man. He keeps doing it. This is kind of felt like, all right, dude. I don't know how long this little run's gonna really last. Like it'd be too obvious of a pick, but here he is, right in the top 10. Yet again, they flipped on the 2019, and there he was again back there in the top 10 at this golf course. Like that was a tough miss on our end, I think.
I think him in the house sleeping in tomorrow plus 1400. I'm looking at the odds sheet there.
Sorry, I missed that, TC.
That looks pretty good. I picked him as well, actually, Solly, just for
come on, man.
He has doubled 7 twice, and he's bogeyed 16 both days, and he's 4 under par.
That's what I was going to say about
his punch on 16. Did you see that yesterday?
Did not.
He was deep in the trees, like way back, and hits this crazy good punch shot. KVV and I must have watched it like 12 times last night. And it was a great representation of how firm the golf course is this week versus previous years and how much more nippy the fairways are, where he hit one and it was drawing. It was just an excellent punch out shot. And I mean, it must have rolled on the fairway for a good 120 yards. And then it was rolling right down the middle of the fairway and then just starts veering a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right. And then finally, goes in at the last second. And I felt bad watching it because I'm like, man, that was a really good shot that you didn't get rewarded for. Kind of crazy too. He was 136th in driving round 1 and 14th in round 2. So, but yet he shot 70 both rounds. So two very different styles of 70.
Day is not he's not really my favorite player on the PGA Tour, as I'm sure has been well documented, but I would be a bit of what we said about Justin Rose after the Pebble win. I would be hard to say anything disparaging about Day coming back and winning an event like this. Like, he world number 1, truly like one of the hottest stretches I think we've seen in the last 10 years, probably, from him during that kind of 15-16 run. And again, could have, he doesn't seem like he's obsessed with the game of golf, right? Like, he seems almost kind of disinterested in times, and it would have been very easy to kind of go off when injuries popped up and things got a little tougher, to kind of just go into the sunset and either count his money or go to live or whatever. And it seems like he's working really hard at getting back and figuring stuff out. And so wouldn't be my favorite choice to win, but it would be very impressive nonetheless.
Agree.
I haven't listened to it yet, but it was recommended to me to listen to his interview he did on Mark Immelman's podcast, just talking about kind of stuff he's done with his swing and getting, if you're a golf swing nut, that apparently is, he spends like 10 minutes just breaking down some stuff. And there's a video portion, I think, to it, explaining some of it. I'll need to watch that before the weekend, I think, at some point.
Yeah, that's a good rec.
Prepared to talk about it, but that was highly recommended to me, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But
next up, Victor Hovland.
So man, I saw
he had it to 8 under par.
And I was going to say, I don't know if that's a buying or a selling thing, but like, he's clearly playing really freaking good, and then played the last 5 and 4 over today, like the easy holes in 4 over. So that's either like he's playing the hard holes really well, ergo like maybe he's going to get it back, or it's like, dude, you just can't do that.
Made a mess on 4, made double, then flips over and bogeys 5, and then bogeys 8 as well. Yeah, he had it to 8 under, finishes at 4 under. But man, that just kind of feels like what we see out of him when he gets into contention. Like, it just seems like he's destined for a lot of T6s. And
guys, four's bucking its head this week.
It's playing really hard.
2 great pins there. Rory hit a filthy chip there today. We talked about Cantlay putting it in the water. It was a back left pin today, which was tough with the wind. It's just, and it puts such a weird premium on the drive on that hole too.
Yes.
So,
I watched the Adam Scott, Ricky, and Morikawa come through, and Ricky's over in the right rough, and you're just like, watch again. It's so weird going to a golf tournament. When you watch a shot from behind, it doesn't look that difficult. And when you watch it like from the other side behind the green, it doesn't look that difficult. But when you watch it from the side, like watching guys try to get the distance right from a side angle, it looks insanely difficult, especially that kind of shot where you're trying to land it in a really thin corridor to be able to use the slope. And if you hit in the water, you're looking at double. And watching Ricky from like a down slope in the rough, in the right rough, like land it in the exact right spot on the front of the green, take the slope and drag all the way down there near the hole. Watching Morikawa from the left rough, like weighing in, like, I'm risking my tournament if I go after this pin in some way. How am I getting this on the green and ensuring I get par, hitting the exact perfect shot he needed to. It just was like, whoa, these dudes are like really cutting it close on this shot. There is nowhere to hide if you are not in the middle of the fairway on 4, and it's been the 5th most difficult hole so far. It's yielded 55 birdies, but man, there's been 20 doubles. That is the number one, the leader in most doubles so far has not been 17 and has not been 18. It has been number 4. Granted, there's some more others on 17 and 18, but just found that noteworthy.
Which I'm kind of hoping that they don't, like, that they haven't wasted the 2 best pin locations there. I know they're probably going to go back right or middle right one day. I hope they go back down
low left on Sunday.
Low left again, like almost middle left on Sunday or something. That would be delightful.
I think 4, this is going to sound pretty obvious, but 4 is like the perfect, it kind of encapsulates Sawgrass as a whole, where it's like, if you can hit the fairway and you can hit the middle of the green, like it's pretty easy, man. But if you miss at all a little bit, all of a sudden things start to move so fast. And I remember that, Tron, even from the video you did with Huber. It's like, obviously you're in the middle of the fairway, as was kind of the shtick of the whole video, but like you miss it like a groove low or whatever, and you come up a little bit short, and you could set it like as soon as that ball was like in the air, just like, oh God, that's going to be so hard. And that's, that's what like 4 does such a good job of. JT yesterday was had a 90-yard wedge, which we should maybe talk about JT's wedges. A lot of just shit wedges this week, which is really weird. But
JT must have watched my video.
he maybe did. He just leaked one in that right like mogul and was just completely hosed. It was awesome.
Rory did the same thing today. Like Cody and Riggs and I were standing there watching Rory, and Rory drives one down the left side just enough to be blocked out by that kind of mound or bank to where he doesn't have a clear look at the green or at the pin at least, and he just flares this wedge, and it's just like, yeah, man, like that's gonna be an almost impossible up and down. And he hit a great chip from there, but man, it was dicey.
It's such a fun green. I mean, it just is. You can call it a funnel-ish pin, right? But if you get coming in with too much speed, we watched. Who was the guy that hit it into that? It stopped on the wood piling near the end there. You know,
oh yeah, I saw that too.
It looked like kind of a good shot, but it's coming in too hot, and it gets down the slope and then falls off into technically not into the water, but into the penalty area. But man, that's a lot of people took the advice of going and standing behind 4 today, because that was a really, really popular spot.
Yeah, I think it's the best. I've never played Seminole, and I've never played like Indian Creek or Everglades Club, some of that stuff down in South Florida. It's the best par 4 I've seen in the state of Florida.
But not the best par 4 on the golf course, right?
Exactly.
No, it's by far the best par 4 on the golf course. Going back to Hovland, did he hit it off the bulkhead on 17 and got crowned?
Yeah, I saw that in his press conference. I didn't see the shot, but I saw that it kind of the wind hit it, and he was talking about, it basically like he thought it was kind of just like a very take something off of 50-degree, and then the wind switched while it was in the air, so he already, he knew it was going to come up short, and then it caught the bulkhead, and I think bounced all the way back there.
Oh.
Sick.
Yeah. 17 rules, man. And going back to what you were saying, Solly, about like being able to kind of watch the trajectory from the side, I think that's low key what makes 17 so fun to watch.
Yes.
When you can sit up on that hill and you can really see like the whole shot from the side and the trajectory it's coming in, and oh god, that one's up in the wind and it's going to get beat up, or that one's coming in too low, it has no chance of stopping, like that. Oh, it's so fun.
That's
Denny McCarthy.
They showed on TV showing how the wind comes through there and how it like goes to I believe somebody referred to it as Todd Island out there in the water, and how it like whips around there and comes up, like does a jet stream up from there. Did not need to see that. I don't need to see that. I don't like I ever commit to shots when it's windy as it is. Now that there's all these different levels of what the wind's doing at different heights, and it might be doing different things. Don't need to see that. I don't know if I'll ever hit another fully committed shot ever again after that. So appreciate the technology. NBC, take it away. I don't need that one. That one's scaring the shit out of me.
Solly's already gonna be freaking out about
wind at different levels for aviators. So there's a 1,000, 2,000, all the flight levels. It's terrifying, man.
I was saying TC needed to set up a lemonade stand out there across the street from Sawgrass to charge people to look at his windy app today. I think that could have been really popular with players and caddies.
You know what? It's frustrating, Solly. We can do a little mini Amsterdam here. It's so like the fact that they have all of this technology and they have all this cool shit that they can deploy, and they're just not most weeks, makes it even worse. Right? Like it's truly just you guys are being cheap as hell most weeks, and you're running with a skeleton crew, and like you're spitting in our face even harder.
That's factual.
Broadcast has been pretty good this week, I thought.
Yes.
Which kind of, again, what you're saying just reflects how poor it is most times.
Also, the Brad Faxon, Tirico, Paul McGinley trio. Let's get some more of that, guys.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's it's basically like Tirico just directing traffic,
just passing the ball,
and Faxon and McGinley just talking golf.
Yeah, just
like hardcore golf talk, and more of that. That is delightful. Would listen.
Rico had to do a read for the big billboard outside the Morgan Stanley building in New York. Like I had to cut to like an obvious like sponsor part of it. And as soon as it was over, I said to Cody, I was like, dude, Tirico is a G. Like that was so, like that was like good content. He is so professional at getting in and out of that stuff. I would have rolled my eyes otherwise, but like the way he flowed in and out of that was just a total professional. So God, I can't get enough of Tirico.
Are you guys buying or selling Hovland? I don't know if we had a definitive.
I'm holding.
Holding.
Oh, that's a cop out, but a really good
Hodl.
take.
Hodl.
I'm holding. I think he's going to finish right where he's at right now. I think that's about what
Great
we'll
call.
see on Sunday.
You know what, TC, for the sake of being there when it happens, I'm gonna buy. I think Hovland's due for kind of a Ricky-esque performance. I think you're totally right. He has been that guy that just kind of takes a peek at the leaderboard and then decides maybe it's not for him and tends to backpedal, but he's due to break through. And Sawgrass is it's a good spot for being, 3-4 shots back and kind of just letting it fly on that back nine. And maybe he'll have that one of these years. So I'll buy.
Okay.
Are we good? Can we talk about Rom and Rory, or do you want to go?
No,
or
I
how far
want to
down
get
this
to the
we're gonna
T8
go?
guys, and then we can kind of
Okay.
wrap it there as far as going down the leaderboard. Denny McCarthy, the best putter alive.
Playing really good golf.
I'll say yes. I'll give a thumbs up to Denny McCarthy.
I'm holding on McCarthy.
I'll say I'll say meh. I mean, I'm gonna sell. I don't think he's gonna win, but I don't think he's gonna, he's not gonna shoot 76. But
Number 1 in the field in driving accuracy so far this week.
that helps.
So, next up we've got Ben On.
I couldn't tell you much about Ben On's week. If I'm being
Holding.
honest.
Next.
Okay, Ramey.
Selling.
Ramey, I think I'm gonna sell. I think maybe that time has come and gone.
Adam Hadwin.
I feel like he always plays well here, doesn't he?
He's kind of a tactician,
Yeah.
kind of a technician,
Yeah, I'm gonna largely sell.
A lot of
Okay.
Canada up there.
Yeah.
I'm buying. Adam's a lovely lad. That for that reason only, I'm going to buy. He's working with Mark Blackburn. He's got some swing change stuff that he was working on in the fall when we saw him. And if you're, sitting there, 3 under on the day, a lot of good holes to play. I think I'm going to buy Adam Hadwin right now.
Going down the board a little bit farther, I got a guy I'm buying on. A tip out there for the punters. Siwoo Kim, T20.
It's Siwoo Kim time.
He's got he's currently T20 -2. He's 1 over on his second round. He is on the green on 13. He's got 18 feet for birdie. He's got 5 relatively birdieable holes coming in. I'm buying on Siwoo Kim. I think Siwoo is making his voice heard this weekend.
Okay. John Rahm withdrawals. The buoy has sunk, unfortunately. Stomach bug, I believe it was. It was not really going great for him already. So far, round 1, he's 1 under par, whatnot. But sucks that he won't be around for the weekend, or no chance for a Friday charge. The rib does not look like he is going to be around for the weekend. He is not. What did he get in the house at? Or he's not in the house, but what is he
He's
at?
currently at, I think he's +5 right now.
He is +6 overall,
+6.
+2 on the day. The broadcast continues to do that. Well, I mean, if he turns around and gets on a hot streak here, he might be around for the weekend, but he needs at least 4 birdies to be around for the weekend. It does not seem to be working very well for the rib.
He got blocked out by Dikembe Mutombo on 6.
Then he hit the green and then de-greened himself, putted it off the front of the green, had to chip back up, chipped it right back to where he was. And then 2-putted again from there. He had a 30-something footer for birdie and walks away with double. It is not the ribs week,
and you know what I was thinking? I was like, all right, this is gut check time for the rib, time to go out, and it just wasn't going to happen today. Like, conditions were tough. He's playing with Scotty. The vibes weren't great in the group, and then Rahm withdraws, and it was like they're waiting 5 minutes on every single shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very unbecoming to do the can Rory birdie 4 of the last 8 to make the cut. Like, I'm not doing that. That's disgusting. I think it's I don't know, man. He's got to be. I know he says he's not, and I listen to you guys talk about it on the pod, but like, he's got to be exhausted. And I'm not excusing it. It sucks that he misses the cut. You gotta make the cut, especially honestly when you're riding for. These should be no cut events. You kind of got to go out there and make the cut, but it's a blip on the radar of some really, really, really good golf. I don't think this is a place that, outside of his victory, I don't know that he's really beaten this place up in the past. It's kind of a shout out to drawers, not really feasting at this place. It's just kind of a weird golf course fit for him, and I don't know.
Like this, a result like this always reminds me of Phil's quote of when he was about to miss the cut by 1 million. Be like, how did I win here?
Yeah, right.
You can literally go play this tournament over 4 days and be the best out of everyone, and come back and be like, this place is horrible for me. So,
is there an asterisk on Rory's players victory?
what? I'm listening.
Just kind of a soggy, slow,
Goes in the
softish course.
in the congressional bucket.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm
Where's
just
the
raising the question. It sucks for Rory that, like, you know, he's got to hang around all night and then go back out there. And then, you know, I'm sure there's other guys I'm very, very, very curious to see if anybody WDs and just heads home tonight, trunk slams, and like Rory can't do that. Right?
No,
Because he's
God, no.
he's the spokesman.
God, no.
I would send a message to Scheffler on his pace of play stuff, though. You don't like it? How about you go play by yourself in the morning?
Who would they send out as a marker?
Maybe you.
Gold Boy.
I think
That's
Gold Boy
Cam
might have gotten put in the guana reserve. I think I think he might be smelted down and dropped into the nature preserve somewhere.
A guana reference. That's the big wildlife refuge just south of Ponte Vedra for the uninitiated.
Spieth comes out, birdies 10 and 11 to start, bogeys 13, doubles 14, bogeys 2, doubles 5, bogeys 8. Sprays one off the planet on 9, turns to ask Greller, is that out of play? Hits a fan, comes back in the fairway, hits it greenside, chips it in for eagle to get in the house, shoots 75 to get in at even and safely make the cut.
Where did he hit you, by the way?
It was kind of on the lower chest, like I kind of gave it a little throwback into play.
Yeah, kind of hit me in the palm, and I just naturally reacted and kind of threw it away. Yeah, interesting. Oh, hey, we got a guest.
Oh, there is a guest coming in here. We were wondering if he was going to finish his fatherly duties in time to do it, but he is here. Mr. Shane Bacon, welcome to the show. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I've only got one to bed, so the second one is upstairs watching. God, Tron, your hat is ridiculous. He's sorry, threw me off. He's upstairs watching the iPad, so I've got a window. You know, this is stuff, Solly, you'll learn so soon.
Shane's gonna bathe his young son after.
Is he watching the Craig Perks year on the iPad upstairs?
Yeah, he's getting super involved in like '90s Players Championship highlights. So I'm hoping he's feeling good about it.
He's pissed they're not gonna revamp the course back to the way it used to be with all the natural scruff and stuff. Love it.
Tron, did you get the hat for free or did you actually spend your money on it?
No, somebody sent it to me. It showed up in the mail. I have no idea who sent it or whatnot.
I think Cantlay might have sent it to you. Was there a return address?
Cantlay hates me. He
That's what I'm
follows me on
saying.
Twitter.
No, I think he's saying like, I know your address. I'm gonna fucking come kill you.
I'm gonna
if you keep making these jokes.
It's like his horse head.
Exactly.
Basically.
You're helping him get the impressions he needs to activate that spot. He's met his impression number within the first month.
Dude, he's so slow. It's wild how slow he is out there. Cody,
what speed is he on the drill?
I got to learn more DIY language. I know how to do like 3 things. Now the Cantlay bit, I got like 3 things I can go with, and I've already used them all. I got nothing else.
Shane, how can you sum up this tournament so far? I feel like it's kind of rudderless thus far.
Yeah, it's still kind of searching for its identity. You know, I mean, I don't want to bring up Jimmy Walker PGA. I know you guys like to bang on that, but I mean, through a couple of days, it's felt a little like that one where you were just kind of waiting for somebody to take hold of it. I will say I'm holding out hope, and there's a long shot of this, but I was talking with Andy and the Fried Egg crew earlier. I want to see the basically the graduating class without Matt Wolff. So I want to see through Saturday we get some make a run, Hovland kind of not screw up at the end, and then keep Morikawa around, and then you get those 3 guys going at it at the Players. I think that has a chance to save what's been a bit of a bummer so far.
Just going back through past winners, it's been a long time. I mean, Siwoo Kim was kind of a random winner in 2017. I think he's kind of validated that with his career afterwards, but it's been a long time since a random winner. I don't know if KJ Choi counts in 2011. Probably not.
That year was sick.
He was doing hammer drills back then. Tim Clark, I would say, was kind of a random one in 2010. But man, since KJ, Kuchar, Tiger, Keimer, Ricky, J Day, Siwoo, Webb, Rory, JT, Cam Smith. There's no winner in 2022. But it's like, yeah, we've talked a lot about how this course does weird stuff, but the dude that ends up winning it's usually it's pretty premium player.
I always say this every year, but like reading that list of winners is like that's a super impressive list, of course. But when you go back and you look at like, okay, now read like 2nd through 5th, that big name is always holding off like some true disaster scenarios. You know, the Tiger year, we've referenced it often, and no disrespect to our friend David Lingmerth, but that's the best example where it's like Tiger, Streelman, Jeff Maggart, Lingmerth, like it's tough. So
there was Wittenberg up there with Tiger one year.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's, I don't know. They are who we thought they were. This happens a lot. Someone will save the day. Have faith.
How far back is too far back?
That's the only question, TC.
It's a tough question to ask before the second round is
feel
completed.
Like you can go pretty far back, right, Deej? I mean, just simply because if a 65 exists when it doesn't really, this feels a little like last week, you know, to me, where you don't really feel like there's going to be much separation, and it doesn't feel like somebody's going to get back to 10, 11, 12. So, you know, if somebody goes out there and Brandt Snedekers it in tough conditions, I mean, you know, I mean, they could make a heavy move at it, I feel like.
For sure. I don't think the 1s and 2s are out of it by any means.
We've talked a lot about the leaderboard and whatnot, Shane, and we were kind of saving this on the back half to avoid it not permeating through the show. But I'm curious, there were some questions asked to the Gary Young, the head referee. He said the pace of play is what we expected. He said this is just the result of the challenge of this golf course and the size of the field. And asked about it, he said we are I'm summarizing the quote, but we're a membership organization designed to create as many playing opportunities as possible for players. And it kind of seems like they've backed themselves into a corner when it comes to trying to get this tournament in.
Well, I mean, every year, this is the new Masters. I mean, every single year, this feels like that. Remember that run we had? Was it probably the mid-2000s where it was a rain delay or weather delay every single day on Thursday, Friday at Augusta? And it's felt like this has kind of turned into that at the Players. Every year, it feels like something. Solly, the weather's good in Jacksonville. I see you playing golf all the time. Why does it always hit, you know, around this time, this 1 week out of the year?
It's a big question mark in March. It really is. And it can be great all week and switch in a heartbeat. I think the first one, 2019, was pretty good. And the conditions, like the week after that, were insane. And like last year, Neil got married the weekend before the Players. It was incredible. And then the Players weekend hit and it was just a disaster.
Well, I will say, sticking up for this year, though, like it's one set of afternoon thunderstorms.
Yes.
Like this shouldn't be wreaking havoc on the tournament. It's been
not a big deal.
Perfect all week. It was fantastic yesterday. It was great until 4 o'clock today or 3 o'clock today. And then it's supposed to be gorgeous the rest of the weekend. Like this is more like May than it is like March kind of. It's warmer this week. It's, you know, they've had trouble keeping the rye going and the Bermuda down, you know.
What if Solly's the curse? Because remember what always used to happen at the Memorial? Everyone blamed it on poor Chief Leather Lips. But when Solly was living there, it was a complete shit show. And the Memorial's been like pretty fine the last like 5 years. And the Players has been a fucking disaster. So Solly, I hate to put that on you, but it's, I think, worth bringing up. Maybe it's you.
I'll have to think on that one. I'll have to think long and hard on that one. I'll go ahead and I'll preliminarily accept the blame on that. Because that is.
And will you apologize?
Solly, how was the weather at the Amsterdam Open from like 2011 to 2015? I mean, was it just a weather delay?
It rains a lot in Holland. I'm not going to take any issues. I'm not going to take any credit or blame for any of that. So.
TC, you should look up also if there is a Jacksonville equivalent to the Chief Leather Lips situation. I know that's a favorite of yours up at the Memorial.
I feel like I might be Chief Leather Lips between the allergies and how dry it's been down here for the last 4 or 5 days. I need some chapstick, man.
I feel like they have that at Home Depot, like at the checkout counter. I feel like if you're going to wear that hat,
random
you should
shit at the checkout counter.
Shane, who's going to win this golf tournament?
Colin Morikawa, I guess. I'll go with, probably who's the favorite. By the way, who? Solly,
no love for Scheffler on this podcast. I'm going all in.
I'll love him. I will love that. Yeah. It's Scheffler.
No, Solly, I'm with Shane Morikawa.
Yeah, how many players have won 2 majors and players that are modern players? Is it just 2?
JT and
And Rory?
And that
Rory?
is that it? I'm just trying to think of what Morikawa does if he wins here, because when you think about the modern player compiling trophies, big trophies, they're not a ton. Jordan obviously hasn't done it, so I mean, he would just be
Keimer.
Keimer. God, Keimer's so many trivia questions, right? So many answers to these, like this era's crazy trivia. But I mean, that's kind of got to be it. I mean, you obviously had the Phil and Tiger run, but other than that, there's not a lot of people have done that.
Keimer's like the trivia question I always ask. Can you name the 4 universities that have both an NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback and a U.S. president as alums?
Keimer fits into this?
Keimer.
Well, it's just
Martin
like
Keimer.
in that vein of like really random shit, but then when you think about it, you're like, oh,
he's the Gerald Ford of this trivia
yeah,
question.
exactly.
Shout out to Michigan.
Yeah, Deej, you just got one of them. Gerald Ford and Tom Brady.
Stanford.
Yep, John Elway. And
probably
Hoover, I think.
Either Harvard or Yale.
I believe.
I'm going to say Harvard.
Nope.
Right. I guess Fitzpatrick's never been on a.
I can see in the comments, so it's already blown for me. It's Miami of Ohio and Navy are the last two, I believe. Tyler Mustin nailed that one.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's good stuff.
Is it raining really hard?
It was been thunderstorming here, and it's been popping off over here. So yeah, I think we're it's getting pretty real over here.
Drenched City, USA, coming up on the weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
Shane, what's your favorite memory of the play?
Davis Love out of the Pine
Really?
Straw.
Hell yeah!
How old are you, man?
The crane shot from. I want to interview the guy that was the cameraman for that, or camera person, but the crane shot from Davis Love out of the Pine Straw when he shot 64 is amazing television.
So I think it's the same guy. I don't know if anybody cares about this, but I think it's the same guy that has been operating that NBC crane forever. I think he wrote a book, and he always had the crane right behind 17.
Yeah,
like right between 16 green or
There's
16
no flag
fairway
on it
and
this
17,
year.
which probably made it easy to just kind of whip around and
so
catch
good.
it. There's no flag on it this year, TC?
No,
I think he retired. I think he retired.
I
guess,
but I mean, that was always the spot that I looked for, like what the wind is truly doing. You look up at that flag.
Exactly.
So,
Shane, we're gonna have to dump you only because there's a weird scratching, loud feedback noise that keeps hitting somehow, and it's gonna blow out my eardrums, and I believe it's been.
I'm
noticed
sorry.
by you. We're gonna have to. Dump. It's not your fault. It is not your fault. We are a small shop, and we're getting some technology issues. But thank you for joining, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the players. Hope it's better than what we've seen so far to this point.
Bye.
Trying to figure that out live on the fly. We were unable to do so. So apologies to anyone that was hearing that scratching. But any questions from the audience or anything else we need to get to before we
I got more guys to go on the leaderboard on.
Ty Messia said it's the ghost of Gold Boy trying to communicate.
Dude, it's popping off at my house. It sounds like the apocalypse.
Oh, I hate that.
Guys, I saw Brandon Wu in person again yesterday.
You should give him that hat.
His hat. Man. Mr. Hat.
It's bad.
Dylan Wu or Brandon Wu? Which
no,
Wu?
Brandon Wu.
No, Brandon Wu.
Okay.
Yeah. Cam Davis, 3 under, T15.
We're still doing this.
That's cool, man.
I know. David Lingmer's sitting T15, slated to make a cool 400K right now. We're all very excited about that in the Solomon household. So,
how did he get in the field?
That's a great question.
He was
Is he supposed to be there?
He was an alternate he was like a first alternate, and then like when Brennan Steele dropped out, he got bumped up into it. So yeah, guys from Corn Ferry are definitely getting in this field. That's for sure.
Wait, Will Knights is in the comments. How does TC feel about the Bears trade? I have not seen the Bears trade. What happened?
I don't know. We might have to put that behind the paywall.
Again, Friday, a Players Championship recap.
TC, we've been trying to focus on the show here. I don't know what
the number one overall pick to the Panthers.
Huh. Interesting.
Thank you for that, Will.
Yeah, Will's trying to sabotage a rival podcast here. Will, we don't come to your office and do this shit.
You guys
I do sometimes.
Cody, TC, are you heading out in the morning? And if so, what are you going to go see?
I think so. We were talking about it on the ride home. I think I always love going out on Saturday anyway. And then I think especially if there's guys going out there early, I may go get a workout in. Maybe stop by Home Depot on my way.
What
see
are
my
we
hitters
doing?
over
Why
there.
yes, we're going out in the morning. Want to go watch these guys finish their second round.
Thank you, Cody. That's a little more on point for what I was looking for there. Deej, what should we look out for tomorrow? If you were here, where would you be going tomorrow?
You know what? I think I would. I think you got a really cool chance to go watch possibly the best player in the world, Scotty Scheffler, go play some of the most interesting holes in the world. And I would try to probably get out there and beat the traffic and watch him play 11, 12, 11 through 18, him and Morikawa, just bouncing back and forth between those. I know that's kind of cliche, but
can we repair and get Scotty and Colin to play together tomorrow morning? That would be sick. I would love to watch that.
They should just
How much do you think
after
Rory
the rib
would pay?
WDs, they should just put Scotty with
They
him.
can play a
another
force.
3-ball. Yeah.
How much do you think the rib would pay to not have to go out and play tomorrow?
He's a man of integrity. Come on, TC, don't put that on.
He's got an easy, easy go play 6 holes, 7 holes, and hop on the jet back home. I think he can handle that.
Guys, I'm on the lookout for Cantlay tomorrow. Cantlay is 1 under right now.
He knows where you live.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm on the lookout for him in more ways than one. He's got 7 holes left. He's on 12 right now. He's I think he's greenside right on 12. But I think Cantlay comes out and inserts himself into this thing tomorrow.
You know who also I think the pro's gonna make some noise this weekend. He's never really quite played great here, but it kind of clicked, I think, like Sunday last year. I think he really played well. I think he's played pretty defensively at this golf course, like trying to get through and make the cut. And 72, I think he's gonna be pressing a little bit, and we'll see if he's one of those guys that's like pressing good or pressing bad, right? Like, hopefully when you're pressing and you're trying to make a move, you're kind of in control of your golf ball. And he certainly has been that over the last 3 months or so. So I could see him, with a little 67 weekend or something like that would be fun.
One thing I am looking forward to this weekend, I'm very much in a Jesus take the wheel situation. Like, not a ton of rooting interest near the top of this leaderboard. It's kind of like, dude, whatever happens here. Like, I'm excited to see it all shake out, and I'm not emotionally attached to anything that's going on here. So that's what I look forward to.
What I can recommend is just, allow the golf course to be the star, right? Like, detach yourself from needing big names to make this entertaining for you. Just, I think, appreciate how good the golf course is and how much fun it is to watch anybody play it, even TC. And you'll have a much better weekend.
The only issue with that is when the golf course is significantly more benign and toothless on the weekend. That's tough. And it seems
that hasn't happened yet. Let's see. Let's see.
It kind of happened a little bit. I don't know, like last year, the tour just sent out the notes from the incomplete round 2, but there's 21 balls in the water on 17 this year. That's kind of a good barometer, right? Of like what the conditions were like. There are 21 balls in round 2 in the water on 17 this year, 27 last year during round 2. Very keen to see round 3 last year, only 7 in the water on Saturday. So, or on round 3. I don't think round 3 was played on Saturday last year, but very keen to see if they feel licensed to set it up a little bit harder for the 3rd round, knowing that the wind's probably going to die down a little bit in the afternoon tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think they're going to want to try to max out as much daylight as possible tomorrow. So I think they're going to set it up a little bit easier, but
they should be fine. The last threesome's supposed to go off at 12:30 tomorrow. It should, and there's daylight till 6:30 and no weather. Like, if it takes 6 hours to finish that in threesomes tomorrow, they got major issues, mate. And
Sully, what's going on with JT?
He was my pick not to win this week. I think it's just struggling to get the golf ball in the hole. We watched him come down on 18. We got to sit in on the Bones JT player caddy convo on 18 and watch them he's in a bad spot, long right in the walkway to a front pin on 9, trying to figure out in a big contour, kind of in front of the pin to the left. It's going to kick the ball to the right, and they go back and forth, figuring out the way to get it, up the chute to the closest possible spot. He bumps this chip. It rides the slope into the left, and then it inevitably takes the slope back out to the right, rolls up to 15 feet, missed the putt, unfortunately. But man, it was a really fun kind of moment to sit in and listen to that and listen to him get, because he felt like he needed to get up and down and make the cut. It looks like he's going to get in. at +2 is. It looks like all the +2s are going to get in, but
Really?
it was awesome.
They are?
I mean, they're about 70% chance of getting through as of now. It kind of depends on how benign it is tomorrow. If it blows a little bit tomorrow, I think they should be fine. But
Okay.
it was just awesome to kind of watch that moment. It's why we should have cuts in golf. I don't understand why they're getting rid of cuts.
So we got JT, Shane Lowry, Jerry Kelly is at +2, essentially getting in. Taylor Montgomery, Big Tone is currently at +2. Shane Lowry, shout out to him, 77-69. Nice comeback after a shit round 1.
And he birdied 7 and 8, his 2 of his last 3 holes to get to the +2 number. He would have loved the birdie on 9, his finishing hole. But yeah,
you know what I can't have is JT is very much in this camp as well, but I can't have JT and Fitzpatrick missing the cut at events like this. Fitzpatrick especially. I think he missed the cut at Riv too.
Yeah.
He just, I feel like we all said a lot of stuff after that US Open win last year, and he's kind of just looking like another dude, and that sucks. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on, but that's a bummer. I was hoping for kind of a big year. Cody, what am I?
I was watching Fitz on the range warming up today, and he literally had like 2 cardboard boxes stacked up next to him making swings. It was a weird sight to get ready for round 2 of the Players.
Fitz is like the PGA Tour's version of Lindy Duncan. I'm kind of bummed Shane's not on. I was planning on going through Tommy's scorecard with Shane.
Truly, that was wild.
Tommy parred the first, eagled the second, goes bogey, 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 double, bogey, birdie, 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 par, birdie, and he's currently on 14 in the middle of the fairway.
It does look like the Moyle is going to make another cut, TC. So congratulations.
Oh, he does.
I think that's about all I got for today, unless we want to get down to T119 on the leaderboard here tonight.
There's so many like talented guys in that top, like in the T33 to T53 bucket right now, and I'm very curious to see who kind of
I would take that over the leaderboard, right? That's like its own quiet little leaderboard. There is, within that little spectrum, we have Max Homa, we have Joel Damon, we have Cantlay, Spieth, Fleetwood, Keith Mitchell, Kiz, Adam Scott, Hideki, Matt McNeely, Will Zalatoris, Xander, Sahith. Like that is,
you're going on a leaderboard, man.
Well, there's a lot of dudes to go out and watch tomorrow. And an earlier 3-ball. Good chance we might get some really good 3-balls in the. I hate watching threesomes, but for the Saturday, the third round, that might be some good groups to go out and follow. So look forward.
I think someone's going to freak out and go low this weekend. Just let it happen, guys.
I agree. I think it's going to be a cool weekend.
I do too.
I'm kind of buying. Cody, we had a pretty provocative idea when we were out there walking up 18. Cody was saying, hey, they should move this hospitality way up the right side of the fairway on 18 instead of being up on the hill between 16 and 18. And I said, well, those people that's the deck up there and they can see 18 fairway and 16 fairway.
Also, and everybody would blow it. Outpost?
Well, the Patriots outpost farther down, but everybody would blow it up the right. And then we started talking about hospitality tents. They should. All right. So 2 solutions to our TIO hospitality bailout stuff. One, Cody suggested that we line instead of the mesh, we put up prefab concrete.
So it just bounces.
So it bounces off. And then 2, on the roof, trampolines on the roof instead of just the regular kind of vinyl or tarp there. Trampolines so that it's like Mario Kart. If you hit a certain spot, it could go 300 yards in one direction or another.
I did say there should be like a secret trap though. So just like in Super Mario, if you go down the tunnel, it'll slingshot you directly towards the green. So there is like a true jackpot you can make there.
I love that. I think again, look at where we're at here. That there are no rules at TPC.
Don't mess with the sanctity of golf here, dude.
Come
on, this is the home of golf. It's the Mecca.
It's a complete circus.
And you know what? I've got a couple concrete contractors that I can hit up.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we look forward to joining you guys again. Thanks to High Noon. We'll be back Saturday night for a live show hopefully concluding round 3 of the 2023 Players Championship. And of course, we'll be live on Sunday as well. Looking forward to get out and watching some golf tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to Shane for joining. Sorry that we had to dump you for some audio issues. We're doing it live this week. We are figuring it out. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night. Cheers.
Cheers.